Okay, we're going to fill our buckets with disinfectant 256. So I'm going to do that. I usually like to do about 2/3 of the way up. Make sure I got enough. Also, make sure you do your testing. Make sure it's up to date to make sure that we've got the right parts per million. So what I'm going to do is we're going to pre-soak our rags. We all should have washing machines and dryers at our schools. So we use a one-time use, and we pre-soak them, get them nice and damp, not too wet. And then we just give them a one-time use. Throw the dirty ones on the bottom of the cart, and then just wash them later. So I'm outside the entrance, and I'm disinfecting the door handle, making sure I'm wrapping my hand all the way around to properly disinfect. I will disinfect the handicap. There you go, the handicap sign, and even the fob sign, just in case we end up touching that, and anything around the general area. And then we'll move to windows, disinfecting. They will be streaky and watermarks because we are disinfecting them. Making sure we're covering the inside where gourd is and the outside. Oh. Okay, so we're heading into the bathroom, the boys' washroom here. I'm going to start with any touch points outside the washroom kids might use. Like they slap their hands around there when they come in. We don't really need to address this light switch at this time because it's, well, I wiped it anyways, but it's a key light switch. So in here, I'm going to wipe down the hand dryer. Around the hand dryer, we do not have use of the paper towels right now, but they may touch it anyways. So we're going to give that a wipe, go underneath. And I'll give the garbage can a wipe as well. And the wall around it. Now I'm going to move to this is damp. Also going to do, before I get to the sinks, I'm going to get another cloth. I'm just going to wipe the wall around the soap dispenser and the sinks. Now we're doing touch points, so we want to make sure we get the taps really well. Underneath, I'm going to discard the rags each time I'm discarding the rags. I'm going to move to the urinals. At this point, it's we're doing touch points, so we do have a limited time frame. So we want to make sure we're getting these handles so that when they're flushing, they're not getting bacteria and getting sick. And first I'm going to deal with the toilet, then I'm going to deal with the partition. So I'm going to give a wipe of the handle here. Again, if there's something in there, give it a flush. And I'm going to discard that one. Oh. And I'm going to start here. So here's the lock for the stall. I want to make sure we get these touch points. Also on this side, the dispenser. The handicap railings underneath. If you have big hands again, like me, you can get it all in one shot. If not, just make sure you get underneath. That's key. Okay, so we're here at the stairwell. We're going to wipe down the railings. So I like to start by wrapping my hand completely around. I have big hands, so I can do this. Some of you don't, so you'll have to move the cloth around a little bit more. So I work my way up, and we make sure it's a damp cloth, not to over wet it, because we don't want people's hands slipping on the railing and maybe causing a health and safety issue. So I also do this part of the railing as well. And I'm not going to go right to the top today in this video. I'm going to come back down the wall. And I've got two in my hand. I'm going to fold this over, because I'm also going to spot clean the wall. The children will probably touch the wall, so I like to touch up the wall a little bit as I'm going down. And just watch your step when you come down the stairs so you don't trip.
Starting with a new cloth. Handrails, touch points. This isn't a whole piece of glass. It's the areas that the kids are going to touch. Jamie. Jamie has a lot more to say. Okay. Open my doors.
Going into a class now. I'm going to start with the door handle. Give it a nice wipe inside and out. Do the glass. Anywhere around the door handle. Kids will put their hands all over the door, so we want to make sure that we've got that disinfected. Light switches, you know, they're important. Anything that can be touched, the phone. The buttons on the phone. And this is our sanitizing table, so we'll want to give that a wipe. Maybe even the sanitizing bottle itself. My understanding is that children are supposed to take home anything they bring. So they're to take back their recycling and waste. I'm gonna do the outside here, get these window ledges. Door frames. Maybe even the wall out here as a precautionary measure, just because they tend to put their hands all over the wall. There we go. Okay, so we have our elevator. So I normally start with the push pieces here, so it's nice and disinfected. Give it a wipe down. We're trying to use the elevators at a minimum. Only one person allowed in the elevator at one time. And we're going to open up the elevator. And we're also going to do the panel inside, the hand railings. Anything peekaboo, anything people might touch with their hands or might get special needs students in the elevator. They might want to touch things, touch the walls, the partitions. So we give this a general wipe. Get these buttons all nice and done. Be careful not to call the service there, because you know, well, you could. You just have to explain that you hit the button by accident. And then we have basic wipe the elevator.
Light switch behind the door.